Welcome back everyone to another iRacing video. If this is your first time seeing any of my content and you haven't yet subscribed, head down below and press that red subscribe button. Only takes a second to do it, and it really helps out my channel a lot and helps me grow. As well, if you do like what you see, feel free to leave a like in the comment down below. Today, as you can see, we're not in stocks anymore. As I said in the last video, we have moved up out of the rookie class. We are now in the D-license class, which gives us a little more of an opportunity to have a little bit more variety in what you race and in series. So today, this is an unranked series. This doesn't really count towards your safety rating at all or your overall license. This is just kind of one of those races that if you want to kind of have fun racing against other people without it having to really affect any of your stats and your ratings, that's kind of what this is for. So today this is in the Silverado, like the NASCAR kind of truck series. And as you can see, we're racing around with the Reese's truck. This is qualifying here. We managed to qualify 5th out of 23 drivers though, so that was pretty solid on my behalf, if I do say so. The little bit of a different thing here between street stocks and at least this kind of caliber of race, the truck is a little looser than the street stocks. There were a couple of times where I almost lost it and started to ride a little bit high up into the wall, or I would take the corner a little bit too much and just kind of lost the back end of the truck a little bit and went into a bit of a slide, but I managed to catch it. That was a lot of practice stuff. I did manage to practice a little bit for about 10 or 15 minutes. Let's just say I managed to get completely, totally wrecked a couple of times. One of them including me doing a complete 1080 in the air. But we'll move on from that. You guys don't even need to see that bit. But as I said, qualified 5th here. So, that being said, even though this is an unranked race, I was still taking this very seriously. I wanted to do very good. I wanted to try to have fun with it and still produce a good result, as most people would want to. If you want to go have a race where it's more arcade style, when you can kind of mess around and you bump into people and, you know, it doesn't completely screw someone's race, that's fine. Go play something like Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport or anything like that. But we're going to get into the race here. Like I said, starting 5th. So we're going to be starting from the inside line, which is probably my least favorite spot to start from. I would much prefer to start from the outside. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's just I feel like I've got a little more room at the top of the track. Even though there's the wall there, everyone's going to be kind of pushing to be at the bottom of the track anyway, so it kind of feels like you have a little bit more room to work with. As you can see, some people are kind of weaving. I do myself. Put a little bit of heat in those tires. A very good thing to do on the first lap of any race if you can. In this case, we're doing a rolling start, so it gives us an opportunity to take the track nice and slow, kind of get a feel for, you know, the track. Obviously, you should have practiced and qualified a little bit, so you get a little bit of a feel for the track, but just to heat up the tires, get a little bit of grip in them, because if you try to hammer down right off the start and you go turning really, really hard, you're probably going to lose a little bit of grip and you're going to spin or something like that. But we do have a good mix of cars here. They really... Some of the liveries and stuff that you do see here are very kind of cool. As you can see, the pace car goes off there, and we are going to start this race very well, actually. Great start. We're going to stay in 5th right off the start. We didn't move up any. but we didn't lose a place right away. Now, the 99 Exalta car behind me, really riding my bumper. He's really going to be trying to use this draft kind of slingshot thing here. I managed to kind of hold him off for a little bit here. And then I managed to start pulling away. Really taking these corners hard. A lot harder than I really would like to, but I wanted to get him off. Didn't want the pressure from him. Made it a lot easier to keep moving up. As you can see, the race leaders ahead of me they've got a good gap. Still in 5th. Now the race leader, he's gone. Like, he is way, way, way up. He's like I think, figured out it was about 8 or 9 seconds up on me, which is another 4 or 5 seconds up on the other 3, the second, third, and 4th place, sorry. Now, as you can see, people are starting to kind of get a little loose, get a little excited. People are already going down to the pit lane, so I don't know if that was maybe a mistake that he went down, but you got a guy that kind of spins out there. I don't know if he got spun out or if he spun out, but things are going to start getting exciting shortly. Now, most people would think, why would you want to do a race that's, you know, not ranked, doesn't count towards anything? I've been doing pretty much straight shot, just all official racing series. So I just kind of wanted to do something different, just kind of wanted to have a little bit of fun with it. Still be able to make content for you guys, but, you know, having a little bit more fun doing it. Not that I wasn't having fun doing the official series, but when that's all you're doing and you're doing the same races, the same series, trying to get the same results and good content, it's not always going to happen. Not every race is going to be 100%, or you're not going to have a great finish all the time, or it's not going to be really, you know, watchable, good, worthy content that people are going to want to see. If it's literally just a race where there's no excitement and you finish in 12th place and nothing really happened, not a lot of people are going to want to watch that on YouTube. As you can see, we got a couple of the race leaders that spun out there. They kind of got caught up a little bit, and that moved them off. So at this point, I've moved up. Moved from 5th up to 4th, I believe, because they got caught up with a couple of those back markers, is what I was able to kind of take away from that. Got another guy that just, I don't know what happened. He drove just right off. I'm just going to move past him right on the inside, or the outside. Still getting used to the way things work compared to NASCAR and Formula 1. But I believe he was a backmarker. I don't believe he was up in front. Didn't recognize him from the race start. We're going to pull away from him very easily. Believe at this point we're in 3rd place. This is where I started to kind of realize, okay, if we run smooth, if we have a good race, there's a shot we could be on the podium, which would be lovely. Because I haven't had a podium finish in a little bit. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't affect safety rating or your official race rating, your iRacing rating. But at the same time, it counts for something if someone was watching, let's say. I know these aren't, you know, covered by iRacing at all. We can move by another back marker there very easily. But at the same time, if you have a race like this and you want to try to get your name out there for other teams, sponsorships, anything like that, if you have YouTube, even if you don't, make a YouTube account, start posting your races. Start doing kind of like what I'm doing. As you can see, we have a big crash up ahead. dude flipping through the air. We got one guy crashed out of the high of the track, one guy at the low. This was a very big step up for me because that just moved me up into second place. Yeah. Very, very exciting for me. But as I was saying, still post your races. Even if it's not official, post them anyway. People will see it. People might like your content. People are going to say, oh my god, they're having a great race. Maybe we should watch this guy or gal. So, at this point, I'm just hammering down. I still believe at this point that I'm still down from the race leader. They're fairly far up in the distance. Still believe there's almost a 9-second gap. We are going to close that pretty quickly though. It doesn't take long. When you really just hammer down and really focus and put your foot to the floor, it's fairly easy to make up some time. If you're not making mistakes, you're gonna make up some time pretty quick. Now, I kind of felt bad for the guys who have been crashed out because really their positions were given up because they got tangled up with some back markers and with some other drivers. And this being an unranked series and an unranked race, you have racers that are from rookie, D class, all the way up to A, which, you know, there's a big gap there. Now, this is where I move up into first place. It kind of took me a minute to realize that that was the race leader and he got caught up with another back marker. But once I realized what was happening, I wasn't turning back. There was no way I was going to give up that position. First time I had been leading a race ever in iRacing. Even though it's unranked, I know I've said it a few times, this was a big moment for me. Because at this point, if I was able to win this race, it shows that I actually have a little bit of skill. I know that those guys crashed out and that I got these positions almost on a freebie. But at the same time, if I can avoid those wrecks myself, because there were a couple close calls, that big wreck with the guy spinning through the air, I could have easily crashed into one of them and completely, you know, screwed myself in this race. But I didn't. I managed to get through that. It's a lot about race awareness, making sure you know what's going on around you, knowing if you have to slow down going into a wreck. Because a lot of people don't. A lot of people try to hammer down and just fly through a wreck, and if there's smoke, you can't see through the smoke, and then you crash into someone, or someone's coming down the track, whatever it may be. Just be aware of what's going on. As you can see, got a car behind me. He's a back marker. He is making up some time because now a little bit at this point of the race, there's 25 laps in this race. We're getting into the back half now. Tire grip is going to start falling off and the degradation is going to start increasing as I'm trying to push. The more you push, the harder it is in your tires. I've been pushing this whole race, so it's going to be getting a little slippery out there when you get your tires worn as much as mine are right now. Got a guy coming out of the pit lane. He stays off to the side. I was thankful for that. Didn't want to get caught up with anyone. I actually managed to finish this race with 0 incident points as well. There is no limit on an unranked race of how many incident points you pick up. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Some people might enjoy that and just decide to try to make it a demolition derby. Or there might be some people that, you know, actually still care. So I'm going to let the back marker by here. I didn't want to get caught up at all with him. I didn't want him to, you know, try to start battling me. So I just kind of moved off to the high side and let him take the low and just go. And let him have his 15 seconds of fame there and get ahead of me. Now I had another back marker. Pretty much behind me at this point were all back markers except for the former race leader who managed to come back out in second place. He didn't have his car completely wrecked, so he was able to come back fairly soon. But he's 10 seconds behind me now, so the roles have kind of switched. Before he was 10 or more seconds ahead of me. Now, he's 10 or more seconds behind me. And it's not karma or anything like that. He didn't do anything wrong, anything bad. Just goes to show that just because you're, you know, maybe a B or an A class driver, doesn't mean that someone in the D class can't still have a good race and, you know, actually beat you. So, at this point, coming on to the end, starting to catch back up with these guys. Last couple of laps were very stressful because at that point, tire wear was very high, very, very prevalent, and was making it hard to keep the truck or the car in a good straight line. Like, as you can see, sometimes on the straights when you go to turn a little bit, I'd have to jockey a little bit and kind of get the wheel kind of back to the point where I could be in a straight line going into the next turn, because I didn't want to lose it and spin, because I did that a few times in practice getting used to these trucks. I've had one of these races before. That was at Daytona before. I didn't record that one or anything because I never actually finished that race. On lap 3, I got caught up with someone and I went flying through the air for about 9 seconds and did a whole bunch of flips and rolls. But that was the only other race I did with this NASCAR Truck Series. But if you guys want to see more of this, not necessarily just the NASCAR truck, but anything that's, you know, more of an unranked kind of fun race, let me know. Put it down in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you want to see a good mix where maybe I do a video of unranked stuff and then maybe a video of a ranked race and just kind of mix it up a little bit, because I try to post 2 videos a week. If you want a good split like that, let me know. Put in the comments what you want to see. Here, we're coming on to the very end of the race. Getting close. Last few laps. Not feeling any pressure at all, because the back marker is just that. He's a back marker. Now, at this point, that's a race win. That's a win in the books. We are home free at this point. I couldn't really believe what was going on at this point. I kind of didn't realize I had won yet. But as you can see, the checkered flag is waving. I'm just taking a couple victory laps and cool down laps because that was a bit of a stressful race, at least for me. Trying to keep the truck and everything straight was the hardest part, but then you have to worry about crashes and stuff like that. That's a whole other ballgame. As you can see, people pulling off, but I'm just kind of, I have a plan kind of in the works right now as I'm driving around the track for what I want to do. I don't know if I just wanted to keep doing a bunch of laps or what, but as if any of you guys have seen NASCAR, any race really, if you see a race winner, what's one thing that you usually see them do before they get out of the car after they've won? Donuts. So I decided to do some donuts. I was pretty excited that I just won. I know it's an unranked, but at the same time, this is my first race win ever in iRacing, so I didn't even care. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we will see you in the next video. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Premiumbeat.com